Shuf Ibrahim alayhi salam. So when you look at Ibrahim alayhi salam as a prophet of Allah, what did he do to learn about Allah? What did he do? Because we said that the highest aspiration you have in life is to be in the company of Allah. Because being in the company of Allah results in these benefits, that Allah Azza wa Jalla is with you wherever you are. But for you to be in Allah's company and to gain these benefits, you have to know who Allah is. How does it make sense to worship a Lord you don't know who He is? You see, most of the demotivation we have in worship is because we don't know who Allah is. If we knew who Allah Azza wa Jal was, as-salat would be 100%. And every ibadah and every worship in life would be 100%. And you wouldn't have questions like what questions we hear today after Ramadan. Shaykh, can you give us a talk after Ramadan? How do we keep going in our worship? How do we remain steadfast after Ramadan? And that these questions the Sahaba never used to ask. And that these are new questions. After that time, then today we ask these questions. I lost motivation to pray. Advise me. How do I continue to pray? All these matters were assumed in the past. No one fell into something like this. These are the problems and the questions of today. The people did not know who Allah is. You say, how do I remain steadfast after Ramadan? The answer is, go learn about Allah. Because when you know Him, you'll find the strength to worship Him. Then you know who you're worshipping. For Ibrahim alayhi salam, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel, it saved him. But what did Ibrahim do to learn about Allah? Allah Azza wa Jal records a story for him in the Quran, in Surah Al-Baqarah. وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ رَبِّ أَرِنِي كَيْفَ تُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى. Ibrahim alayhi salam got to a point in life where he asked Allah, show me how you revive the dead. أَرِنِي كَيْفَ تُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى. Show me. Yani the idea is Ibrahim alayhi salam is not asking, oh Allah, do you revive the dead? He believes in that. He knows that. He's saying, show me how you do it. Show me how you revive the dead. Otherwise, a few ayat before, when Ibrahim alayhi salam was with the king An-Namrud. Remember An-Namrud, the story of An-Namrud, the king. When he came in, when Namrud said, Ana uhyi wa umit, I give life and I take life. And then Ibrahim said, Rabbi alladhi yuhyi wa yumit. My Lord is the one who gives life and takes life. Ibrahim believes this. Ibrahim knows this already. But what's Ibrahim doing here? When he says to Allah, show me how you revive the dead. Al-ulama rahimahumullah, they said, أراد أن يرتقي من علم اليقين إلى عين اليقين. He wanted to advance from the knowledge of certainty to the eye of certainty. He has the knowledge that Allah revives the dead, but now he wants to see how Allah revives the dead. Upgrade. He wants to update his knowledge about Allah Azza wa Jal. And we're speaking about Ibrahim alayhi salam, the one who Allah Azza wa Jal took him as a friend. وَاتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ خَلِيلًا. He was in the company of Allah because of his dedication to learn about Allah. أَرِنِي كَيْفَ تُحْيِي الْمَوْتَى. He wants to see. For Allah Azza wa Jal, He said to him, أَوَلَمْ تُؤْمِن. Don't you believe? Don't you believe that I revive the dead? For Ibrahim alayhi salam said, Bala, of course I believe. وَلَكِنْ لِيَطْمَئِنَّ قَلْبِي. However, I want to feel satisfaction and contentment in my heart. لِيَطْمَئِنَّ قَلْبِي. This is what he wants, Ibrahim alayhi salam. In other words, the more you seek and you pursue after knowledge and to learn Allah, what's its result? لِيَطْمَئِنَّ قَلْبِي. It gives peace and satisfaction in the heart. The more eager you are about learning about Allah Azza wa Jal, the more satisfaction is in the heart. وَلَكِنْ لِيَطْمَئِنَّ قَلْبِي. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wants to show him لأنه Ibrahim alayhi salam is honest. Ibrahim alayhi salam is sincere. He wants to learn about Allah. For Allah Azza wa Jal is going to give him some knowledge. But look at this now. It's not going to come easy. Yani you first have to prove your dedication and commitment that you want to learn about Allah. And then the road is not easy. Show your effort. Prove your effort. So Allah Azza wa Jal now, He says to Ibrahim alayhi salam, فَخُذْ أَرْبَعَةً مِّنَ الطَّيْرِ فَصُرْهُنَّ إِلَيْكَ. Go and collect 4 birds. 4 birds. 4 birds. Al-ulama, rahimahumullah, they have a long discussion. What kind of birds did he have? Some said one of them was a goose, a pigeon, a chicken, whatever it is, it was 4 birds. أربعة من الطير فصرهن إليك. Step 1 in this experiment. Grab the birds, 4 birds. Next step, صرهن إليك. صرهن من التصيير. Chop them up. Chop them up. He'd grab them. And he began to grab. Rip their feathers off. Break the bones. Dislocate their bones and rip them apart. The flesh, the skin, the blood, the veins, everything is all over the place. Of 4 birds. فَصُرْهُنَّ إِلَيْكَ. Chop them up really well. Because they have to die. Then Allah is going to show you how He's going to revive the dead. So kill them. Now if you told Ibrahim to put them back, he wouldn't be able to. No one in the world would be able to bring it back together. Khalas, it's gone, it died in front of him. The bird is gone, motionless. And on top of that, it's all scattered all over the place. فَصُرْهُنَّ إِلَيْكَ. Then he said to him, next step. That's step 1. Stage 2. ثُمَّ اجْعَلْ عَلَى كُلِّ جَبَلٍ مِّنْهُنَّ جُزْءًا. Go to the peak of a number of mountains and divide this pile of dead birds, divide it up into small parts, and take a part and go to a mountain and put it on top of a mountain. Come back down, take another part, go on top of a mountain and put it on top. Some ulama said he had to go and place parts of the bird over 4 mountains. Some said no, over 7 mountains. Some said more than that. The idea is this. Do you know how long it takes to go up a mountain? Mount Everest, just a quick research, it takes 2 months to get to the peak of a mountain, Mount Everest. Well, this is not like an expedition and a holiday anyone does. People die as they go up on Mount Everest. Some people don't make it. Look, Ibrahim alayhi salam is ready. He's ready to tackle this hardship and difficulty to learn about Allah Azza wa Jal. He already knows Allah revives the dead, but he wants to see it. He wants more knowledge of Allah. It's not going to come easy. You're literally going to climb a mountain to know that knowledge about Allah is going to require sacrifice and dedication. And you're going to get tired, like going up a mountain. You went up a mountain, Allahu A'lam how long the mountain is to go up. You know, today, the mountains are shorter in size because of erosion and so on. But back then, mountains were high. And every few centuries, mountains decrease in size. Until eventually on the Day of Judgment, all the mountains are plucked from the earth and nothing remains. All of it is gone. وَيَوْمَ نُسَيِّرُ الْجِبَالِ. They're all gone, finished. Ibrahim alayhi salam goes and puts a part of a bird on the mountain. Come back down. Go back up. The idea is, Allahu A'lam, this would have taken months, years. And at that time, his people are suffering. His community are in need of da'wah. So it's not like Ibrahim said, Ya Rabb, I need quick access to knowledge of yours because I got to go back and look after my people and give them da'wah and see their needs. And no, there's no rush when you seek knowledge of Allah. But you want Allah's protection. You have to know who Allah is. You have to learn about Allah Azza wa Jal. So that when you say, Hasbunallah, even if you're in a fire, it'll work. For Ibrahim alayhi salam, Allah says to him, ثُمَّ اجْعَلْ عَلَى كُلِّ جَبَلٍ مِّنْهُنَّ جُزْءًا. After he finished, what a huge project it was. What's all this for? We're about to see what he's going to learn. He put all that and he came down. Allah Azza wa Jal now gives him the next step. ثُمَّ ادْعُهُنْ. Call them. Call the birds. Look, they're dead. Call them. Call them. You're going to see now Allah's ability over all things. Allah is going to teach you something. You're going to see how Allah would revive the dead. For he said to the birds, come, ud'uhun. Allah said to him, يَأْتِينَكَ سَعْيًا. They will come running to you. Just call them. For he called them. وَالْمُفَسِّرُونَ رَحِمَهُمُ Allah, they said, and as he called them, he saw the parts of the birds began to assemble in the air. A feather from this mountain would go to this mountain and connect to this bird. A bone from this one will go to this mountain to connect with the bird. A vein from here and a vein from there. Skin cells and blood cells. Things you can't even see with the naked eye. Allah is bringing it all up together and He's seeing it. 4 birds are formed in front of His eye. In no time. Kun fayakun. This is Allah. This is the one you want to be in the protection of. You need to learn about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For these birds began to assemble in the air. ثُمَّ ادْعُهُنْ. Allah Azza wa Jal, in the same manner He raises us on the Day of Judgment. Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, قَدْ عَلِمْنَا مَا تَنْقُصُ الْأَرْضُ مِنْهُمْ وَعِنْدَنَا كِتَابٌ حَفِيظٌ. Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, we surely know what the earth eats away from us. What the earth eats away from you. قَدْ عَلِمْنَا مَا تَنْقُصُ الْأَرْضُ مِنْهُمْ. And when you're buried, the earth eats up on you. You're gone. But when Allah Azza wa Jal resurrects us on the Day of Judgment, listen to this. Allah said, كَمَا بَدَأْنَا أَوَّلَ خَلْقٍ نُعِيدُهُ. Just like He created you first time, He brings you time the second time round. The skin cell that is here won't end up here. And the blood that's in your heart won't end up in your liver. Everything goes back to where it came from. Qudratillah. The capability of Allah Azza wa Jal over all things. ثُمَّ ادْعُهُنْ. Call them. Ibrahim alayhi salam sees this incredible sight. And they come down. And it's mentioned in the narrations that they came down without a head. They flew down. Ibrahim alayhi salam had the 4 heads in his hand. Even more to show you the miraculous nature. That they're flying without a head. How? Allahu ala kulli shay'in qadir. Did he ask, كيف تحيي الموتى? Didn't you ask Allah, how do you revive the dead? Allah Azza wa Jal wants to show him something incredible. Birds, after being chopped up, have come back and they're flying without a head. And when they came to him, he would offer the head, and if it was to the wrong bird, it would refuse until he hands over the right head, like a Lego, it connects back in, and the birds are gone. And at the end of the story, what happens? Allah Azza wa Jal says, look at this. Allah says to Ibrahim, all of this for what? All of this sacrifice and effort up the mountain, down the mountain, 4 birds, 7 mountains, Allahu Alam, more than that, less than that, doesn't matter. All of this, his people need him, his people want him. He left his family, his wealth, whatever it is in the back. At the end, what happened? وَعْلَمْ. Allah said to him, now you should know, أَنَّ اللَّهَ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ. 2 names of Allah. The entire experiment to come out with 2 names of Allah. This is a lifetime. A lifetime to learn 2 names of Allah. What effort have you done to learn 1 name of Allah? The people young, they think 99 names of Allah. Memorize them and you're all good. We're done. How many of Allah's names do you know? How many of Allah's names did you put effort to learn? So that when you call Him, Ya Aziz, you know and you understand what it is. Ibrahim alayhi salam, very quick. When he was thrown in the fire, he did not panic. Why? Because he has already seen how Allah is able and capable over all things. He saw it in his own eye. He saw it. Why would he panic in the time of difficulty? He wouldn't panic. Just Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Allah saved him with it. Subhanallah. This is the benefit when you're in the company of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Azza wa Jal's protection encompasses such people. Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah. 2 names of Allah. All of this sacrifice and effort.